Yes, I think, is this on? Right, let us make a start, and it's really good to be here, colleagues. Vladimir, it's fantastic that you are here, and as Meta said, this has been nearly 4 long years for brave Ukrainians fighting, and I, for one, have been particularly struck with the severity of the attacks on civilians, particularly in recent weeks and months, on a daily basis. So it's very good you're here. Maia, it is fantastic that you are here. A great victory for you in Moldova, but also a massive victory for Europe as well in the face of interference from Russia. So it is really, really good to have you on the panel here this morning. And I think, Meta and others, we've seen in recent weeks the appetite that Putin has to not only rain down on Ukraine, but also to take action and to interfere right across Europe in many different ways, whether that's in relation to our airspace, whether it's cyber or other attacks that have been going on. They are unrelenting and they show an appetite to continue this, and we must fight it with everything that we have. And it's a reminder for all of us, Vladimir, that this is not just a question of Ukrainian sovereignty, it's a question of the values and freedoms of all of us, particularly in Europe, and that we are all in this fight in relation to the Russian aggression. We've done a lot of work on the coalition of the willing. I'm not going to go through that here, other than to say that we must always remind ourselves that the coalition of the willing, the security guarantees, what we've done to try and ensure that if there is a ceasefire, it is just and lasting, mustn't sort of seduce us into thinking that the work is over in terms of supporting Ukraine now. And so the first point really is to be really clear that we must continue that support for Ukraine, notwithstanding the work of the coalition of the willing. And that means putting Ukraine in the strongest possible position. And that then means more on air defences, more on long range and anti-drone attacks. And of course, the work that we're doing on the reparations loan in relation to the Russian assets, which has been really important work led very ably and very smartly in terms of the progress that we're making there. And of course, as we continue to strengthen the position of Ukraine, we must do that in conjunction with and alongside the work we're doing with President Trump and others in this. The second thing is that we must always look to strengthen NATO. We had an excellent summit earlier this year, Mark, very, very successful, where I think NATO emerged at the end of that summit stronger than we went in, more united, with real resolve and focus. And we need to keep that because, you know, whether it's air defences in Poland, where we, the UK, sent planes across, whether, Meta, it's the work that we've had to do in the last week or so here with NATO allies working with you to counter the drones. That means that we're here on a beautiful day having our meeting, which wasn't necessarily guaranteed this time last week. I think that shows that we have to make sure that through the framework of NATO we support each other against this aggression and interference. And then finally, we must keep up this pressure on Putin. The economic pressure is having an effect, and we need to continue that pressure through further sanctions, bearing down on energy in particular, and on the shadow fleet. So on all those fronts, supporting Ukraine in the fight, absolutely clear in our support of NATO allies and others, and then bearing down on Putin. So I wanted just to open with that. Emmanuel, can I come to you next, and then we'll come around the panel.
Thank you, Keir. Thank you very much, Meta, for once again organizing this summit. And let me just tell you, before we jump to the situation in Ukraine, as you mentioned and framed it, Keir, that it's clear that this format as well is the right place to deal with so many conflicts or hard situations, and we are focused on the Ukrainian situation, given the aggression war launched by Russia. But Antonio was right as well to highlight the peace treaty signed between Armenia and Azerbaijan. I think this is a great achievement, and I want to congratulate the two leaders. And we are very, as well, focused on what's happening in Caucasus and Western Balkans. And this is the solidarity of this continent. And once again, given this, I would say, holistic approach we have to do for this common place we have, Europe, the elections in Moldova were a great achievement. And Maia, once again, congratulations, because this is a test